When we were working on this topic last, we were adding and subtracting fractions. So hopefully you've still got that knowledge, boys. Seb? Because you will need to remember that. But today we are going on to multiplying fractions. Michaela. Just fractions. Lots and lots of fractions. Okay, so, no, just fractions. To do multiplying fractions, we need to be able to find factors to help us cancel things out. So although this is the fractions topic, these prior learning questions are revision on how to find factors so that we can find things to help us cancel things out when we're multiplying. So, to find the highest common factor of 8 and 10, when we did this in integers, I got you to write out all of the factors of 8, which would starting from 1, and then it would be 1 times, 1 times 8, and it would be 2 times 4, and then that would be my list, 1, 2, 4, 8. My factors of 10 would be 1, 2, 5, and 10. Sorry. The highest common factor is the highest number that happens in both of those lists, which is the 2. All right, so we would write down here HCF for highest common factor is equal to 2. Now the problem is, when we're doing our fractions questions down below here, we don't want to have to write out these factor lists all the time. We want to try to be able to look at them and think of the biggest number that we could divide both of them by. So let's have a try. 3 and 6. What is the highest common factor of 3 and 6? Incorrect, Luke? Seb? 3. Both of those numbers can be divided by 3. Okay? Now, if you don't always find the highest common factor in the fractions questions, that's okay. I'm going to show you some little strategies that can help you go further. But if we find the biggest number first, it will make it faster to get through the question. Let's try again. What's the highest common factor, Luke, of 4 and 6? Correct. How about you ask a friend for a pen, please, and start writing some work down. All right, and one more. The highest common factor of 10 and 15 is 5. Very good. Okay, so let's have a look at these next little bits down here. Multiplying fractions uses different rules to addition and subtraction. You cannot use the timesing together and the diagonal stuff that we were doing. It will not work, okay? So, to multiply fractions, multiply the numerators together and multiply the denominators together. That's the main gist. That's the main thing you do. Multiply the tops and multiply the bottoms. But, unfortunately, there is a but. If we do that, it may mean that our answer isn't as simplified as possible. So it says here, if possible, simplify or divide or cancel your fractions before multiplying. And that's the part that can be tricky because you've got to find factors, things that you can divide by. Now we call it cancelling. And cancelling can be done vertically, so top over bottom, or it can be done diagonally. Cancelling can never be done horizontally. So you can never do a top with a top or a bottom with a bottom. It's always something from the top with something somewhere on the bottom. Can we just sit down, please, guys? Hannah. Yes. Okay, let me say this for everybody. You will have calculators for this test, but remember, I did mention when we're doing the adding and subtracting that the reason we have to learn these processes is because eventually, next year in year 8, you are going to have to do all this fraction stuff with algebra. There'll be letters in there as well as numbers. So, while you will have your calculators to help you, you still will be required to show working out, to show that you've attempted to simplify things in order to get full marks. If you just do things on your calculator, you're going to lose a lot of working out marks. Okay, so the calculator is just a helper. It is not to do the whole question for you. Mia. All right, let me show you. Okay, so here, oh, yeah, Michaela first. Oh, yes, absolutely. You should all be doing that. So did everyone hear that? So on your test, 100% encourage all of you to do the question with the working out that we have to do, but use your calculator to type the whole thing in at the end and check that you got it right. That's a great thing to do. So please everybody do that. Okay, so here's our question. Question number 1. I have 3 over 4 times 8 over 9. Now, usually, not always, unfortunately, but usually, if there's things that can cancel, they're on the diagonals. So I'm looking here, the 3 and the 9, diagonally. 3 and 9, there is a factor that is in both of those numbers. What is it? 3, good. So I don't want you to write 3 down. I want you to cross these numbers out, and I want you to write down what is left when you divide them both by 3. Okay? So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. All right, so that was that diagonal. The other diagonal, 4 and 8. Is there a factor there? Yes. What is it? 2 is a factor, but it's not the biggest one. 4. So let's try the other diagonal. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. We're going to do this lots of times. If I can stop coughing. Year 7. We're going to do this plenty of times. This is what our whole lesson is about. So if it's not quite there for you yet, just be patient. We are going to practice. Okay, love? Once you have cancelled everything that you can see to cancel, then we put an equal sign next to it and we times the tops together and the bottoms together. So doing the tops first, I go 1 times 2 is 2. On the bottom, 1 times 3 is 3. And that's my answer. Now, like we said before, we can... Enough. No talking. I've said multiple times that I'm going to do like 8 questions of these. So stop talking and just be patient and listen, please. You can check your question on your calculator. So I could type in 3 over 4 times by 8 over 9, press equals, and I did get the right answer. The other thing that you can check is you could just type your answer in to see if it was completely simplified. If I had divided these blue ones by 2 instead of 4, it might have been able to go smaller in my final answer. So you can check that as well on your calculator. Okay, let's do some more so that it gets easier. Yes. Improper? I would just leave it improper. There will be mixed numerals in some questions, but we don't have to ever turn them back into mixed numerals at the end. Okay, next one, dot points. A whole number can be written as a fraction with a denominator of 1. That's going to come in handy for a few questions. There'll be one coming up in a minute. Final answers must always, capital letters there, always be written in simplest form. We have to make sure we've simplified everything down as much as possible. Okay, on the next page, there's a few words here that you need to know. So synonyms means these words mean the same thing as multiplication. Okay, so all these ones down here, all these things here mean multiply. So if I say a quarter of 10, that word of means I'm multiplying. Luke, pick up your stuff and move down here, please. Bring the chair. Then obviously a multiply sign. Times means multiply. Lots of means multiply. And product means multiply. So any of those things, you are timesing. This is what we are all about today. Okay, so here comes our lots and lots of practice. Question number 1. Always check those diagonals to see if there's anything we can cancel. So 2 and 5. No. 1 and 3. No. One's as small as it's going to get, so nothing's going to divide out of that. So some questions at the beginning, particularly, there's not going to be a lot of cancelling. Okay, this one has nothing. Nothing that I can cancel. So all I need to do is multiply the top. 2 times 1 is 2. Then multiply the bottom. 3 times 5 is 15. You can check it on your calculator, but that's it. Going on to the next one, Seb. I didn't cancel, I timesed. So when you cancel, you don't cancel horizontally, but when it comes to multiply, you are multiplying horizontally. Tops together, bottoms together. Timesing vertically, no. Cancelling vertically, yes. Kayla. So let me show you one. Here comes the next one. Do we need to wait? I can't do a million questions. Can we wait till the end? We right, girls? Can we wait till I do a few more questions? What's the question? Cancelling, yes, you can. Let me do some more. We're going to see them coming up. Okay? So you've got to be patient. Question 2. So let's have a look. I like to check the diagonals first because that's where they usually are. 8 and 4. They can both be divided by 4, the biggest number. So let's divide by 4. 8 divided by 4 goes twice. And 4 divided by 4 goes once. Now check the other diagonal. 5 and 15. Is there a factor there? Yes, what is it? 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. And 15 divided by 5 is 3. Okay. Now we times what is left. And you do times horizontally. So 2 times 3 is 6. And 1 times 1 is 1. Now 6 over 1 is better written as just 6. Would I mark you down? No. But that is a slightly nicer answer. Okay? Let's try again. Question 3. Check those diagonals. 2 and 24. Is there a factor there? What is it? 2. The factor is 2. Let's just clarify. When I say factor, I'm asking you what number I'm dividing by. but you're telling me the answer after I've divided. Okay, so it's not that you're wrong, but when I say factor, I'm asking you what am I dividing by? So 2 and 24, I'm dividing by 2. 2 divided by 2 goes once. 24 divided by 2 is 12. Check the other diagonal. 11 and 22, is there a factor? What is it? Great. 11 divided by 11 is 1, and 22 divided by 11 is 2. Now, I could start multiplying from here, but there is still another place that I can cancel, and it's vertically. 2 and 12. 2 and 12. I can divide by 2. So I'm going to use a different color to do a second set of cancelling. 2 and 12. Dividing by 2 gives a 1 and a 6. So that it is completely simplified down. Now, let's times what is left. 1 sec. 1 times 1 is 1. And 1 times 6 is 6. If I hadn't, is that what you're about to say? If I hadn't done that cancelling, I would have got an answer. I'll do it over here on the side. I would have got an answer of 2 over 12. And then I would have had to simplify it down to 1 over 6. So you would still get there, but it just takes you that little bit longer. Okay, Michaela? No, it's always two numbers that have to go together. Always two. Oh. Or here. Yeah, that's fine. Yep. Yes, Lily? No, not your explanation, Hannah. So if you had have done 2 over 12 here instead, and then said, but that simplifies down to 1 over 6, that is still completely correct. But as long as you don't stop here, you still have to then simplify it completely. Okay, yes? Yep, we'll cancel. Yep. Could happen? Good. All right, let's get to the next one. Question 4. Checking the diagonals. 6 and 30 can divide by 6. So 6 divided by 6 goes once. 30 divided by 6 goes 5 times. Check the other diagonal. 7 and 21 divide by 7. Shh, Scarlett. Here, please. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 21 divided by 7 is 3. Any vertical stuff happening? No? All right. Let's times what's left. On the top, 1 times 3 is 3. On the bottom, 1 times 5 is 5. You could type it in your calculator and press equals. Make sure it is simplified, but it is. We're done. Question 5. This one is in here because I have this number 21, a whole number. One of the dot points that we had said that a whole number can be written as a number over 1. And you want to do that because then you've got your diagonal stuff to work with. So any time that you have a whole number, put it over 1, and then we start checking. 1 and 1, nothing's going to happen there. What about 3 and 21? Yes, divide by 3 to get 1 and 7. Times in the top, 1 times 7 is 7. On the bottom, 1 times 1 is 1, or we could just write our answer as 7. Okay, question 6. Remember I said all the different things that mean multiply? Of was one of them. If you see that word of, it means I want to times 2 over 5 times by 30, but because that's a whole number, over 1. Okay, check the diagonal. 2 and 1, nothing. 5 and 30?
Yeah.
Yes. Divide by 5 to get a 1 and a 6. All right. Timesing horizontally. 2 times 6 is 12. 1 times 1 is 1, which means that the answer is just 12. Here's another one with the word of, which means times. So it's 4 over 8 times by 3 over 6. Okay. It could be. Yeah. So let's do some cancelling. 4 and 6. Of means times. So 4 and 6, what's my factor? 2. I'm going to divide by 2. Oh, yes, which will give me a 2 here and a 3 there. What about the 3 and the 8? No. But vertically, 3 and 3. Yes. All right, so I can cancel 3 to get a 1 and 3 to get a 1. Look at this one. Vertically, 2 and 8. I can do that by 2 to get a 1 and a 4. So year 7, it is so important that you are very neat when you are cancelling out. Because if you are doing multiple steps of cancelling, you don't want to get confused. Please be very neat, just one line to cancel and write down what is left. Okay, so let's multiply. 1 times 1 on the top is 1. 4 times 1 is 4 on the bottom. Question 8. All right, again we have the word of. So that means the times. We have 3 over 10 times by 50, and we put the 50 over 1. Okay, cancelling. 3 and 1, nothing. 10 and 50, well, any whole number can always go over 1 because 50 divided by 1 is still just 50. But it just means that we're writing it as a fraction because then we can see our diagonals. Okay, so what am I dividing 10 and 50 by? 10 is the better one. Lily, turn around, please. Dividing by 10, we get 1 and 5. Thank you. I'll take the study sheet too, please. Okay, timesing what is left. 3 times 5 is 15. On the bottom, 1 times 1 is 1. So 15 over 1 is really just 15. All right, question 9. 2 over 3 of means times 15 bananas. So 15 over 1. Whole number goes over 1. I cannot cancel anything on the 2 and 1 diagonal. But the 3 and 15, you can divide by 3. Max, what's left if I divide by 3? Shh. 1 and yes. I'm going to come and look at your book afterwards. I'm going to see it all nicely filled in. Okay, writing down the answer. 2 times 5 is 10 over 1 times 1, which is 1. So the answer is just 10. Okay. Down here is your work. It's not in a box, but it's here. We're doing pages 16 and 17 and 21 to 23.